Hey family, thanks so much for joining me. So I wanted to bring you another, I guess maybe we can call it an episode or recording for um, the healer's wisdom. Um, and so what I wanted to do is talk with you a little bit about, I know my eyes are going in different places, but I do have notes because I don't want to forget. I'll get excited and passionate about things that I'm talking about, and then I'll be talking about a whole bunch of other stuff, but not the stuff that I wanted to talk to you about. So, um, one thing that I wanted to talk about is making sure, and this is sort of a continuation of the last video, where I was talking about making sure that you are standing up when people try to cross your boundaries or whatever it is that they're trying to do. You need to maintain your boundaries. You need to stand firm, so you stand on your word. For example, so when you say, like, for example, I'm not having company over because I have work to do, and you stand on that. So, like, you may get people that come to you and they're like, oh, are you sure you can't have anyone over, because I wanted to come over and show you this thing. And you're like, excuse me, you're like, no, I got some work to do, so I'm not going to be able to. And then they might get upset with you and say, well, any other time you'd let me come over, and I don't understand why you're being mean. And I was talking about this. There's a difference between being nice and doing the right thing. So make sure you are doing the thing that you know is right, not what you think is nice. Um, because people will try to test you over and over and over again, and they'll try to say, well, you're not being a nice person, or you're not doing what's nice, and you're doing this and you're doing that, and they'll tell you that you hurt their feelings and all that stuff if you're trying to stand up for what's right. It takes a lot of practice for you to do it, and then still you'll be practicing for the rest of your life. And in the meantime, people will still try to test your boundaries and push and push and push to see how far they could go. And sometimes for some people, and we know who runs this earth, and who might be in charge here. So for us as chosen ones, we've got to remember doing what is right is more important than doing what is nice. And we have to consider, like, all this stuff, like, wait a minute, if this person is saying they don't like me or they don't like what I'm doing, and they are encouraging people to run over other people and do them wrong, steal money from them, lie to them, cheat them, um, do unethical things to them, that's the person that you want to like you. You've got to make sure that you are being mindful of this, keeping these things in mind, because those people that you're thinking, well, I want to be nice to them, you want them to like you. However, those be the people that are on the wrong side, and us as chosen ones being on God's side, those are the people, you know, if anyone. But first, we've got to work on impressing God. That's it. So but I know that, in different experiences that I've had, for example, that there are people that are trying to get, like, trying to push or test your boundaries, see if you'll say yes, see if you'll do this. And there's something called an Overton window. But anyway, they push just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more to see if they could get you to go back and go back and go back until you're backed into a corner. You have nowhere to go. And for them, they think it's funny just to see if they could test you just a little bit, just to see, like, for example, in relationships, someone's partner might gaslight them, right? They might tell them a lie when they know it's a lie, and they just keep lying on purpose. And their partner is like, what? At first they're like, no, you lying, you lying. And then they start, if they're not careful, to question their own reality, even though you know something is true. So, for example, most of you know that you're chosen ones. However, there might be someone that comes along. Let's say, for example, you have a friend or a partner, and they're saying, well, do you think I should do this or do that? And in your heart, God has given you the word, using your discernment that answer A is the right answer. So you tell them, you should do answer A. A is the answer. And they say no. And sometimes they'll do it again just because they think it's funny to push. Other times they'll do it because they have no idea. Like they have no, like some people have no moral compass. They have no idea how to tell you the truth. They have no idea to do what's right. Like they are a terrible judge of character. Like if they picked having all the information in the world on certain people, they would totally choose the wrong thing. And there are things about those people that you need to make sure that you're watching, because those are the people I would say that you don't want to surround yourself with. Instead, I would encourage you to surround yourself with people that their energy is right, that they're on point, that they're as much as possible trying to stay close to God, that as much as possible they're trying to do the right things, they're trying to serve the truth, be about the truth, walk in truth, live the truth, speak the truth, and so on and so on, so that if you ask them something, say you're close to them, you ask them for advice, there's a better chance that they can use their discernment and tell you something that's right. But there are people that are around you, they are not right. They will try to give you advice, they're not right. They will try to tell you you should do this instead of that. Or when you tell them to do something, they'll say, oh yeah, 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 yap, yap. They're not listening to you. They don't follow your advice. They don't care. And they'll come right back to you and say, oh, I didn't do the thing that you told me to do. And you'll say, well, what happened? And they'll tell you word for word exactly what you told me was going to happen is going to happen. And then they ask you for some more advice. And you say, okay, answer A. That's the right answer. And what do they say? Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're so right. And then they don't take your advice. And then they come back to you again and wasting your time, right? They tell you again, well, you gave me this advice and I didn't listen to you. And this is exactly what happened. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm wasting my time then. I'm not going to keep telling you over and over and over again to do answer A because that's the right answer. And then you telling me, no, 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 I'm not going to do it, and all the reasons why. And then you turn right around and have to come and tell me that everything that I told you was going to happen did happen, because I told you it was going to happen. Why? I get my information from God, I get it from the source, the spirit. That's where I get my information from. I don't get it from other things. And so it's just important for you to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who do want to do the things that are right, do want to, you know, use their wisdom, their discernment. They do want to listen to God. They do want to listen to the spirit. They do want to follow those things. They do want to do the things that they're supposed to be doing. They want to stay, say, for instance, in their assigned seats, because they know that every time they get out of their assigned seat, it it does not end well. And so for you, a lot of times, excuse me, there will be people around you that want to give you advice. They want to do what you do. They can't do what you do. They want to follow you. They want to study you. They want to read up on you. They want to do the things that you do. They want to go where you go. They want to wear what you wear and all this stuff. And chosen ones, they just can't be you, which makes them upset, I would say, at times, because they feel like, sorry about the lighting, but they feel like sometimes, well, why can't I do what she's doing? Why can't I be how she is? Why can't I wear this and look good? Why can't I wear that? Why can't I say this? And that, like, they'll listen to what you say and they try to pass off what you're saying as their own speech. And you continue to get to the point where you back away more and more and more till you get to the point where maybe there's only a few people that you have in your inner circle, and that's it. You don't want to talk to them because you start hearing, like, it gets louder and louder, the little things that they say, the disrespectful things that they say, or they try to say hateful things, or they try to insult you and don't think that you hear it, and so on and so on. But it's like, you have to make a decision. You basically, what you're doing is choosing between God and them. And you know the choice is obvious. But, for some for some experiences that you have to make sure that you're standing strong, doing what God asks you to do. Continue to listen to your intuition, to God, to the spirit, telling you the truth. Because for some people, they'll argue up and down with you. They'll try to convince you that they're right. And for you, you have to keep following your discernment, because those people will try to get you to doubt yourself, to get you to wish that you didn't have the gifts that you have, because you can't be close to those people. Like, this is why I'm saying sometimes you feel like you got to make a choice between God and them, and the choice is obvious. If you ain't know, God is the choice, because God is the source of everything: food, clothing, shelter, money. Um, I was reading the Bible, um, and felt like I had drank water when I was thirsty. And you know how, like, you don't always get thirsty when you're drinking. Sometimes you're drinking out of boredom. Sometimes you're drinking because you're like, okay, I got to get my whatever number of glasses a day of some kind of nutritious beverage. Everyone doesn't drink water. Sometimes people drink like coconut water, different things, tea, different stuff. So it could be something, but something like, imagine like you just ran a marathon or a race, and there's this one thing that you're craving, and like I was saying, maybe it's water, maybe it's coconut water, whatever, but like, when you drink it, it quenches your thirst, and you're no longer thirsty. That's what it felt like for me, to be reading the word. And there aren't many things, I can't think of anything else that I was reading that brought me to a place where I felt like I'm drinking and it quenches my thirst that way. Like, again, like you ran a race or a marathon or something, you like got to get some water, coconut water, whatever it is. And when you get it, you like, I'm so, nothing else feels like that. And reading the word, or being able to be in communication with God, or being able to connect with God, if you achieve it, the divinity, what they call it, becoming one with God, that, um, oneness with God. And like, some people describe it like, you know, someone was describing it like, a friend was describing it like, falling in love with God is like, you know, the best thing, or like, getting to know God is like the greatest achievement, or like, it's a quote, but to me, nothing is better than the oneness with God. And so, and that's what I'm saying is like, God will bring us to new levels of understanding, like every instant, if that's what's supposed to be, every minute, every second, every hour, the day, whatever, week, month, year, whatever. We continue to reach new levels of understanding, wisdom, knowledge, and all this stuff. We continue to grow and understand that it's all We have access to it, like with the Spirit, with God. We have access to all the knowledge, all of that wisdom, all of that through God, through the Spirit, through the Holy Spirit. And today, I might have a different understanding than I will, in a few minutes, tomorrow, next day, and so on. But I don't want to be on the wrong side. I don't want to be like continuing to maintain relationships with people when I know that I need to get away from them, separate myself. And when they let go or when I let go, to let it be done, to let it fall dead if that's what it's supposed to be. So for you, what I'm saying is sometimes, again, you have to make a choice between God and someone, something else. You better be right. You cannot afford to be wrong. And whatever it is that you're supposed to let go of, God will take the desire for it out of your heart so that you don't want it anymore. And the thing, this is something that I'll probably bring another video so that I could talk about some of these things. The thing is, and I was talking about this in another video, but like we walk by faith, not by sight. So sometimes we don't have any evidence that this thing is wrong. Excuse me, any evidence that we can see. But we say, my discernment tells me this is wrong, this person, this thing, this relationship, whatever it is, and I have to let it go. And that person might try to guilt trip you. They might try to manipulate you. They might try to gaslight you into doing the thing that they want you to do so that you can go against what God has planned for you. And you cannot afford to be wrong. Choose the side that you know is the right side. Continue to do that. Your gifts, your talents, your abilities, all these things are gifts from God. All these things, privileges, all these things from God. And you should not be in agreement with anyone who's trying to get you to deny yourself, your gifts, God, the things that you know are right for you. Let them, as the Bible says to us, let the dead bury their own dead. It's unfortunate, but sometimes that's the way it is. All right, y'all. So I don't want to make this too long. Thank you for joining me for this. I want to bring another video soon. As always, I will say happy lightning fast manifesting. And I'm going to talk to y'all soon. All right. Love y'all. Bye for now.